Yeah, I'm coming at you. Anyway, I'm going back to doing what I do next week in the woods. All about showing my proof and doing what I do. But I'm just trying to show you guys some things so you don't think I'm lying. Isn't it crazy how all these higher-ups...
I'm not aware of another research video that combines in this holistic way.
They go right for him, right? Or was he placed there?
Structures, tracks, trails, and then an encounter.
No, he's not aware of that. But 3 months ago, I had a visual sighting with 4 subjects out in front of me with trails and tracks while I'm standing 2 feet from a structure. It's only who they want to give recognition to. If you're not part of them, you don't get the recognition. This gentleman is the head of the New York State chapter.
Encounter, including wood knocks, vocals, visuals, all of this coming together in one place to show that these various approaches that we take piecemeal, these fractional views, can all be seen as connected manifestations of the species. I wanted to make this video to encourage those of you who may not have already twigged on to Rio's videos, Rio's work.
Well, here comes the promotional content.
Here to check it out. Probably most of you that are watching me have already come onto it, but anyone who has not, please go to his channel, Utah Sasquatch, and fill yourself in on the really fresh and insightful and productive work that he's been putting out there over the last 5 months or so.
The same ideas that people like myself explained over a year ago. We just didn't look as pretty.
It's great to have new blood on the scene, a
new blood on the scene,
pair of eyes, a new brain that has a lot to bring to bear on our subject here.
All it is opinions. You're adding more opinions and more opinions. You already know Sasquatch exists. What do you need more eyes for?
I really love this guy's work.
I think that Sasquatch usually use the deadfall.
This is the video where Rio supposedly got screams, and they found out that audio was implemented from mono to stereo. Yawn.
They drag it through the forest. Here we go. You don't have time to be scared. I'm not here to be invasive or I saw that one. I saw it. I didn't get a good enough glimpse to It's okay, buddy.
Now, if I shared a video, or any other real researcher out there, which I can name 100 of them, shared this video, they would be calling it shit and garbage. But since it was his, it's all good and accepted. Because we don't know what made those sounds.
I'm not, It's okay. Hey, buddy. It's okay.
A lot of people hear something like that and they think, how could that be a Sasquatch? It sounds just like a guy. It's like a human dude.
That's because it was.
But in fact, they often do sound like this. They can sound like wolves, they can sound like coyotes, they can sound like gorillas and chimpanzees and other primates. They could all...
The Moorhead recordings are some of the best. And I like Ron. And that doesn't compare to the Moorhead stuff.
also sound like humans. Listen to these clips from the famous Barry Moorhead recordings of the early 1970s. When I was with my friend J.P. Smith in Florida in 2012, we heard what's...
It started low and went high.
A wonderful thing about Rio is that even in the middle of an experience like this, he still has the presence of mind to try to think about what's going on, to mark it.
To market. Did you just hear that? To market it. It can't be more clear. You guys are just missing the words.
In his mind, and to convey it to the viewer.
Now notice, guys.
Market it and convey it to the viewer. It was spelled out for you right there.
What's happening right now? We can't see, or at least I can't see, any of the three of them. I can't see that one. I think, hear this. What they're doing is they're...
approach and interaction that he has had many times at night. And at night, they're less intent upon hiding themselves behind objects because they know that
It's been proven they still hide behind trees at night.
we can't see. But if Rio were equipped with the kind of state-of-the-art thermal cameras that...
Oh, so this is just before his GoFundMe. And they promoted it. But if Rio had that kind of stuff, he could get it 2 months ago. And you haven't seen a video.
he can get for several $1,000s, he'd be able to get us farther. And that's the thing. We've been spinning our wheels for so many years here in this field, and it's not often that somebody comes along and pushes us down the road a piece. He's very humble, and he often says he's probably wrong, and he's not doing anything that anyone else can't do.
Yeah, he's wrong because he barely knows anything. He's learned stuff now that he's been in the field, but it's all what you guys have taught him.
Very easily, but in fact, he climbs up to 7,500, 8,000 feet in the mountains, 6-hour hikes to get to places that he has orienteered his way to by following structures. Subtle structures leading to less subtle structures leading to very impressive,
That's been talked about for the last 20 years, following structures to the next. I talked about it last year, Fred Canny talked about it 5 years ago, and so on and so forth. There's nothing he's doing that's new, except you guys promoting him.
obvious structures. As the area decreases in terms of frequency of human beings traveling in that area. And he goes to these places. In fact, he finds his way to where they spend time. And those of us who have been watching his videos have confidence in his method, but this last one that he posted yesterday kind of is a confirmation of that confidence, and it's very exciting, very exciting. And I just wanted to promote it to anyone.
There it is. He's promoting. He's telling you he's promoting it. It's subliminal. But since people trust people and don't listen to words, they don't pay attention to what the words mean.
Out there who may be subscribing to my channel but not to his channel, please include him in your circle of favorites.
There you go. Please include him. It's all done by design.
And please, if you can, contribute to his GoFundMe campaign. I've already...
There it is. I just said that earlier. Go contribute to his GoFundMe campaign. But did they blow me up? I'm not being paranoid. I'm not being schizo. I'm not mad because they didn't. It's because they lied. What they do needs to be exposed. And I'm trying to teach you people that I'm teaching something here.
Given, I wish I could give more. And if I have a windfall,
Matter of fact, he was the first one to give.
I will give more. I think that every once in a while someone comes along who really brings a fresh voice, a new angle, a new...
What's his new angle? We've talked about how they stay on hills, how it's the military crests. We have our own paranoid theory that rebuts your own theory. I mean, not just me, hundreds of other people. The ones that are in the know, though, support it, which you have no idea. Be careful who you talk to, guys.
vigor and enthusiasm and clarity of vision to our subject, and we need to empower and bolster these folks whenever we can. In my description below, I'm linking to his video posted yesterday called Monument Wallow. Wallows are what he calls the places that he finds his...
Aren't these spectacular names? Monument Wallow. Come on, guys. The names are all set up too.
way to where Sasquatch spends a lot of time and build their most elaborate structures and leave all sorts of prints, and as we found out in his video yesterday, often actually are hanging out right then and feeling territorial about and will vocalize and make their presence known. And I also link...
Notice the decent amount of views, right? And likes. And if you go back to the other one I did and the other one I did, it's all the same. It's the same groupings of people, guys.
To the GoFundMe campaign. So look for it in the description. Right there.
Isn't it really funny that 200 other researchers try GoFundMe, but only the ones that get promoted by the top tier make it?
In his video, he makes the point that they seem to be intent upon hiding themselves, especially their faces, even when they're in a situation where they're in control over us and they're able to threaten us, and they have the strength in numbers. If there's only one of us and there's several of them in a perimeter and flanking us and really having the strategic advantage, still they won't show themselves. They'll stay behind obstructions. And from this he's inferring that being concealed is part of their very embedded nature. It's not like they hide sometimes and don't hide other times. And he even goes farther in saying that even when people aren't around, this is how they behave. Frankly, I'm not sure how we can know that. But
because it's all for survival. The paranoid Sasquatch theory that I wrote, it totally rebuts the savant theory that Christopher Noel talks about, where he states that it's just out of pure boredom, basically, that they're banging against trees. And no, it's for survival. They lived alongside of us for thousands of years, and what they do, communication, build structures, it's all for survival. They hide for survival. Humans create destruction everywhere they go. If I wanted to survive, I'd stay away from humans too. Read my paranoid Sasquatch theory. I even did a little short video about it.
But whenever there's people around, even when they are in the distinct advantage, they certainly do hide themselves, even though it wouldn't seem to harm them from a tactical point of view to show themselves at that point. This goes beyond tactics, it seems. I think that this resonates with something that comes up in relating to people with autism. There's something called exposure anxiety, where no matter what the situation, people with autism don't want to be seen, be known, be themselves to be. But anyway, that's my theory. That's a separate issue. The fact that Sasquatch can sound so much like us and behave so much like us and take on some of the same capacities that are possessed by gifted individuals among Homo sapiens. At this point, sign on to the notion that
Sorry about that, guys. That was my dogs.
hominin line that has converged to be very much like us. I think the fact that over the years many DNA results of hair samples have found that the mitochondrial DNA, which is the maternal line, which shows where our mother comes from, has come back human, and therefore the scientists have said, oh, well, it must be contaminated by humans. This is instead an indication of the fact that the maternal line of Sasquatch, in fact, was Homo sapiens. And it
So his theory, or he's telling you that it was Homo sapien. That wasn't a guess. He didn't hesitate.
mixed with non-Homo sapiens. This is Melba Ketchum's conclusion. And history will be the final judge as to whether she is correct or not. But it seems that the uncanny similarity between this species and our species on so many fronts argues for the fact that there's a hybridization that took place, and that they're slowing it down and trying to show you. You can see what you can see, and I'm sure people will poke thermal camera technology.
Anyway, let's go and see what else he's got. Let's see. Project Go and See.
So the real elephant in the room, always, and increasingly these days, is it even ethical to go after Sasquatch? They seem to...
Told you they don't want you to go after it, so let's create this ethical teaching movement.
want to be left alone. Why not just leave them alone? Why impose our will and our species' historical bloodthirstiness?
Historical bloodthirstiness. What does that even mean? We're bloodthirsty for history and everything else? They throw these key words in there that make it sound so damning.
On an innocent bystander. Many people hold this view, and it's understandable.
Okay, well, where are we headed to? That's Utah right away.
The question is gaining even more urgency as more and more of the population of our country and Canada becomes well...
There it is. They sub these guys, man. They feed off them. They get more views from Utah. They put them out there.
Versed in the kind of ways of Sasquatch. Our friend Rio, out of Utah, is bringing the whole...
Our friend. Not your friend, Rio. Our friend.
enterprise of getting close to, finding evidence of, and interacting with Sasquatch to a more systematic and logical level.
He talks about the
And having
military
great
crest
success
right there that we
in
all talk
the
about.
process. More and more people will adopt his methods or hammer out their own strategies for getting closer and closer to the species. And so it's incumbent upon all of us to really ponder this issue of the morality of our relationship with this creature and whether or not we should just leave them alone. Here's where I come down. Sasquatch does not just want to be left alone. If they did, they wouldn't, in many cases, come around, slap the sides of people's houses, tap on people's windows, look into people's windows, especially children's windows, freaking them out.
But those are just reports, and you can't believe every eyewitness, can you?
They wouldn't toss pebbles onto our roofs that let us know that something with hands is trying to pester us or get a
But has anybody ever seen them throw pebbles on a roof?
rise out of us or prank us. They wouldn't play little tricks like mimicking the sounds of our voices. They wouldn't spy on children jumping on trampolines or swimming in a swimming pool. They wouldn't stare at us as we go about our business. They do this sort of thing all across North America. I'm aware of perhaps 20 of these habituation sites, as we call them. And if I'm aware of these, then I'm sure there are hundreds, thousands of others that I'm not aware of. People who don't wish to go public with the fact that this is going on.
That's why they don't want to go public, because they know this crazy stuff is going on. They're tired of being bashed.
So, in a sense, it would be unreasonable to leave this as a one-sided game. I'm sure that down through the millennia, it has been always a two-sided game. Many folks have been able to find structures and footprints already around North America, and it's only been a couple of months that this sort of...
He even promoted Colorado. I like Colorado. He's an alright dude. You know, he's got crazy theories and stuff, but he's a good dude. But notice, he promoted him too, and I bet you Colorado's FLIR campaign is doing great.
New push has been on the public radar. I agree that these structures, these pieces of evidence, and members of the species are widely distributed, in fact, entirely distributed across North America. They've had thousands of years to spread out in all the available suitable habitat. And why wouldn't they? It's just that we have not yet clued in to their presence. And people like Rio and others, and I hope myself to some extent, are helping to show the reality and the kind of accessibility of this presence.
Researchers have been doing this for 30 years. It's only what you guys are promoting now.
They're our zoological next of kin, and yet we know less about them than about just about any other creature on Earth. That's the paradox here, and we hunger to know more. So here's the thing. Whether this occurs next Thursday or 100 years from now, there will come a tipping point in which
A tipping point, hey?
more people understand that the species is real, living right alongside us, than...
Of course they are. You know they are. We all know they are. It's how you want to control it and have it come out, though.
don't understand that. In our own
Who's got the body? Where's it at? Where'd it go?
species is going to need to reckon with the ultimate posture toward this kindred species that we are going to take, our collective attitude toward it. Whenever that tipping point takes place, and it won't be a specific moment, of course, but an unfolding event of consciousness, realization, awareness. But as that evolution takes place, we have to figure out who we are in relation to our cousins in the woods. It's neither right nor wrong to pursue Sasquatch. It simply is. It's deep within our nature to want to know more and to try to get closer to them, and it is in fact in their nature to occasionally get close to us. They need safety. We need to deeply internalize that fact and not get carried away with our ego. We have our innate nature. They have their innate nature. And whatever the chemistry or the alchemy of the coming together of these two natures is, will have to manifest itself. The recognition of this species is 100% inevitable. So there's no holding back the tide. Some find it to be a nightmare vision. More and more and more human beings going off into the forest armed in some cases with rifles and malice in their heart to bag the first Sasquatch, the first trope.
Bag the first Sasquatch. It's already been done. Anyway, he's showing you places to go that people have used GPS and all these other maps and Google Earth to go these places before. This is nothing new. They're just promoting it.
And become rich and famous. That probably will happen.
Did he say it probably will happen? Wow.
It is my profound hope and belief that the second person who does it will go to jail for the rest of his life, because in between there will be law.
Did he say go to jail? That's crazy. See, there's things I know that you don't know.
Laws passed that will make it an equivalent to murder to kill one of these creatures.
There will be laws passed? Really? How do you know that?
The same way that we have collectively decided over time, over the evolution of our morality, that killing one another is wrong, we will and we must collectively decide that killing one of them is wrong. It's the same type of thing. And then it will just be a matter of living within the bounds of that lawful recognition of what is just.
With education, right?
The crucial mandate that we face is to frame the issue in the right way. Make it clear as we possibly can, that these are a fellow type of human. They're a wild human cousin that has co-evolved with us down through the ages. I don't think they're a relict hominid, because that implies that they're left over from some ancient time. No, they're as modern as we are.
How would he know that? Did they examine a body?
They just have taken a different path to get here. Their modernity looks like that, ours looks like this. But if we fail to frame the issue in the right way, then by default, the media will paint them as monsters.
Media, monsters. So they're worried about what it looks like to save asses.
Try to scare us in order to spike ratings, and sensationalize the entire matter. It needs to be put forth and kind of enshrined in everybody's way of proceeding that this is a fellow higher primate next to us. They are our next of kin. I can't emphasize that often enough. And it is this precise kinship that we need to focus on. I think that saying that, well, it's unethical to even look for them and try to learn more about them will be to defer and submerge the entire challenge that we have to face, and that is unavoidable. The challenge of learning how to be with them.
Learning how to be with them. Teaching you. Money. I don't know how much I have to spell out.
The first step in that is for everyone to get on board in knowing that they are there and knowing who and how they are. Remaining in denial or trying to somehow engineer things so that the majority of our species remains in the dark about who and how they are and that they are, is only going to delay the inevitable.
It's going to delay the inevitable. That's what they're trying to do.
I say instead that we embrace this.
They say embrace, because when they do that, automatically the viewer does the opposite 95% of the time.
Challenge and work our way through it with as much intelligence and heart as we possibly can muster. Whether the time of reckoning were to occur now, soon, or decades and decades in the future, we are still going to carry the very same moral burden into the encounter with this other who is another aspect of ourselves. So it is handling, coping with, and seeing our way through this moral burden that is the task at hand.
Alright, give me 1 minute. Now that you guys seen some of that, let me pause you here for 1 sec. You're only able to see these ones. But anyway, just figured I'd share. So yeah, there's a lot more going on than you people think. Do you think I can make all this up? Do you think I can show you and pick words out? And you can't make this up. It's not feasible. I'm not paranoid. I don't give a shit. I'm trying to show you people, but you're still blind. You have your goggles on, I guess. I have no idea. Drink another beer or do whatever you're smoking, but you guys are out there. Pay attention to what is going on. They could drop this shit on your doorstep, or a Sasquatch could take a shit on your doorstep, and they tell you that it was a raccoon. But anyway, more positive. I'm going back to research it. I'm getting out in the field because that's one way I'm going to prove them wrong. You'll see more of my videos next couple of weeks. I don't care if you subscribe or unsubscribe. This is not why I do it. I do it for this right here. I want them to show the body. They need to tell people where the body is at that was examined. There's so much going on. There will be other videos coming out. I don't care what you think. I'm not a paranoid type of person. Never made paranoid type of videos. I'm just telling you the damn truth. Believe what you want. I don't give a shit.